we have some preventers that I'm bringing into the meeting currently, and they'll be here to present.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh, I know I recognize a couple of those right there. Let's go with the Director of the Emergency Operations Center, Ryan Derby. Welcome.
Hi, thank you, Chair Fennell. So I'm actually not presenting today, but would like to give a nod to CalOES, the California Geologic Survey, our Redwood Coast Tsunami Working Group, and all the people that helped compile these inundation and evacuation maps. So today we're going to have Jason or Jay Patton, Rick Wilson from California Geological Survey, and Todd Becker from CalOES presenting on the update to these maps. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to them, and looking forward to this update. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Jay. Welcome.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, everyone. First, we'd like to do some introductions, and then I'll present a very brief presentation. So, Rick.
Yeah, hi, my name is Rick Wilson. I'm a senior engineering geologist with California Geological Survey, and I'm in charge of the Tsunami project there at CGS. And we really appreciate the time to present these new maps to you. And I'll go ahead and hand it over to Todd.
All righty. Todd.
Good morning, Estelle. Nice to see you all. Good morning, everybody. Rick and Ryan mentioned I'm Todd Becker with the California Office of Emergency Services, the Earthquake and Tsunami Program. We really appreciate the board's time today to have us here to discuss the updated tsunami hazard maps. And for a little background, the California Tsunami Program is a program led by the California Office of Emergency Services and also the California Geological Survey. And we work to implement tsunami planning, preparedness, and response activities throughout the state. And one of those key tools in our tsunami planning toolbox is these tsunami hazard zone mapping products that we're here to discuss today. And it's exciting to be here today to discuss this with you guys because the maps we're here to discuss today are the first to be released out of all of California's 20 coastal counties. And that accomplishment is due to the hard work and dedication of people like Ryan at the County of Humboldt Office of Emergency Services, many of the members of the Redwood Coast Tsunami Work Group, and many other local, state, and federal partners on the North Coast that are too many to list today. But on behalf of the California Tsunami Program, we want to extend a big thank you to Humboldt County for their ongoing support to support tsunami preparedness activities for Humboldt's coastal communities. And I just want to make sure to make a note for all the public that may be listening today that now is a great time to check out the updated maps and other resources on tsunami.ca.gov and use this to update your tsunami evacuations plans as needed, especially because many of us are in different working, school, and other situations in these current times. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Jay Patton with the California Geological Survey, and he'll provide you some more updated information on the tsunami map updates.
Thanks,
Thank
Todd.
you, Todd.
Oh, sorry, Estelle.
No, go ahead.
I'm Jay Patton. I work with Rick at the California Geological Survey on the Tsunami unit. And it's really exciting to be working at CGS because I've been working on tsunami deposits and tsunami hazards in Humboldt County for over 2 decades. So I'm really excited to present here today. So let me share my screen. And can everyone see a slide?
We can just see there you go. Now we can.
Okay, great. So this is just the title slide, and I will move on. If I click, there we go. So just a quick refresher for us who are likely all familiar with this. The Cascadia Subduction Zone is a convergent plate boundary where the Juan de Fuca and Gorda plates, these oceanic plates on the west, subduct beneath the North America plate to the east. And when the fault is stuck, it causes the crust to buckle and deform vertically, just like when you pull apart a Velcro wallet. When the forces exceed the strength of the fault, it slips during an earthquake, and this causes the crust to move vertically, causing a tsunami. And I'd like to just mention the tsunami can also be caused by other sources like landslides and volcanoes and certain types of weather. And I'll click again. So why are we updating these maps? The maps are being updated statewide because of new information we have learned since the 2009 maps were released. And there is a need to update these maps every 5 to 10 years, and the existing maps are over 10 years old. But overall, better scientific information and tools will make better maps and safer communities. How has the 2011 Japan tsunami influenced the update of the maps in Humboldt County? Well, our evaluation of the experience in Japan indicated that we needed to incorporate new information and more consistency into the map results and make sure that we were at least capturing tsunami events which could occur over a 1,000-year period. So many of you are all familiar with the 100-year flood. So we are incorporating the 1,000-year tsunami in these inundation maps. Have the tsunami hazard or evacuation maps changed dramatically in Humboldt County? The shorter answer is no. There are some minor changes, but overall our existing maps are pretty good. So existing tsunami evacuation plans probably won't need to change, but people need to check that out for their own. For where the maps have changed, we will work with cities and counties to reach out and target the people who live in those areas so that they are informed of these changes and they can update their tsunami evacuation plans appropriately. So do these maps account for local and distant sources? The inundation maps are based on a suite of very large and realistic tsunami scenarios, including both distant and local sources, local being the Cascadia subduction zone. Tsunami inundation maps show where the tsunami science suggests that tsunami waves may flood on land, and the evacuation maps show predetermined areas to be evacuated when a tsunami is expected. So just a few slides showing how in California we evaluate recent earthquake events, and we check out new tsunami sources that may be responsible for tsunamis that might affect California. And we're especially familiar with the Cascadia subduction zone there in bright blue. Some of the things that have changed is we have better resolution data. So this shows the topographic data used for the 2009 maps. And this shows the topographic data we used for the updated tsunami maps. And something else we noticed is that in some places, the tsunami hazard has changed. So this final slide shows the difference between, this is just south of Eureka, the difference between the 2009 inundation map that's in dashed the white line and the 2020 inundation map that's in a red line. And so when we're in a tsunami evacuation or hazard area and we receive an official or a natural tsunami warning like a large earthquake, we use the evacuation maps to help us learn where to go to avoid the harms caused by tsunami waves. Evacuation maps show the tsunami hazard area in one color and the area outside of the hazard area in a different color. So to avoid harm from a tsunami, move outside of the tsunami hazard area. Finally, I just like to highlight, as Todd already did, that we have a whole bunch of new resources available on some new web pages. And particularly, I'd like to highlight the California Tsunami Preparedness Guide, which is our masthead that will help people educate themselves about tsunami hazards and how to use the evacuation and inundation maps that are both online and downloadable at this website. So I'd like to highlight a list of the different partners and open this up for any questions that people might have. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you, Shay. I will say those are amazing graphics. They're really very well done. So thank you for that. Any questions from the board on this item at this time? Any comments? No? So I guess, oh, go ahead, Supervisor Wilson.
Good to see you, Jay.
Likewise.
Hey, I was just wondering, we're doing so much related to sea level rise and mapping with that. Does this account for sea level rise in sort of the time frame, sort of our planning horizon?
So these maps, that's a great question, and you're not the first person to ask that question. It's important to address sea level rise. These maps will be updated again every 10 years, and over a 10-year period, the sea level rise is very short. But something that you bring up that is also very important is that projects like building construction, that type of a thing, have a longer time life than 10 years, let's say 50 years. And so in the next time that we update these tsunami hazard products, we will be incorporating a projected sea level rise further into the future. So they don't right now, but over the next 10 years, we will be incorporating that.
All right, thanks.
So my question is, you incorporating the 1,000-year scenario, is that what accounted for the further intrusion? And do you get that image from something that happened 1,000 years ago? How do you calculate 1,000 years?
Okay, that's a good, very detailed question. There are lots of things that went into why the resulting maps are different. And one of the biggest changes is that we're using higher resolution topography. And that really helps us learn about where the waves are going to go.
Okay.
The second part of your question is the more complicated part of your question. And I will shorten it, my answer. Basically, if you remember the slide where we saw the whole Pacific Ocean, and there were all those sources around the ocean. So in general, what we've done is that we have taken tsunami models from each of those different faults and modeled the wave from those faults. Then we have assigned, based on the geologic evidence of earthquakes in those areas, we've assigned an estimate of how often those earthquake faults rupture. And then each of those products gets combined into a master inundation map. Do you have anything to add, Rick? You're good? Okay. That
I
was,
love that answer.
Okay, great. Me too.
No, that was great. It's pretty fascinating, it is, and we're learning with it. Thank you, it really is. Had to be fascinating to work on it too, and to continue the work. Any further comments or questions from the board? No? Okay. Any public comment on this item? I don't see any public comment at this time. Nope. Okay. Bring it back to the board. And I don't know if we needed both, but I would just say definitely we want to accept and appreciate this presentation. So maybe I would entertain a motion to accept the presentation.
We do need a motion because there's a resolution attached to the agenda item as well.
That's right. Thank you.
I move that we receive and accept this report and approve the resolution.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in, oh, sorry. That's back to you.
Thank you, Supervisor Bowen. Supervisor Bass?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilson?
Yep.
Supervisor Madrone?
Yes.
And Supervisor Fennell?
Yes.
Thank you. Passes 5-0.
And thank you very much for all of your work. And also, I would encourage people to go take a look on the website. It's really pretty fascinating. Get to know your neighborhood. Thank you, guys.
If you're-
Appreciate it.
Thank you, supervisors.